Good morning. Good morning. It's wonderful to see all of you here. Good morning, President Reber, Dr. Jones, faculty, staff, our visitors and friends. I am Dr. Paula Roberson, Director of the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Innovation, and I welcome you to our Spring 2025 College Service Day. Welcome. First of all, I want to applaud all of you in here for braving the cold weather today and joining us on campus for this biannual event. Thank you for coming out anyway, anyhow. It was tough, right? Trying not to fall walking in. Okay. So while I was planning for today, I called and asked Linda. I said, Linda, what number college service day is this? She said, well, as long as I've been here. And I said, how long is that? I'm not going to tell you. So biannually, she said the number's in the 70s. So we're going to have to find out for September. Biannually, it's up in the 70s. We have been doing this. So we'll find out from our institutional historian. We got an assignment for him already. First thing, College Service Day, giving out homework. Okay, so the purpose of College Service Day is to welcome faculty to another academic beginning of teaching, learning, achievements, projects, progress, discovery, internships, programs, and all of those good things that go along with learning. And today we hope that you feel an atmosphere of excitement and teaching and learning while nurturing the relationships and fellowships of seeing each other, because we don't get to do that often. But let's celebrate that while we're here today and nurture that. So in keeping with our theme of community engagement and civic responsibility, we are honored to have today the Ironbound Community Corporation of Newark, New Jersey, to present to us on this very important and timely topic. So let us remain engaged. So today, to welcome you, we have our faculty member, instructor of English, Dr. Benedetto Youssef.
Thank you, Dr. Roberson. Good morning. I have to admit, when I was first asked to speak here at the start of the spring, I was, of course, honored, excited, and then the full range of emotions began to set in. Anxiety, apprehension, trepidation even. What would I have to offer a room filled with my esteemed colleagues? A room filled with higher ed professionals. And then one word kept bubbling to the surface of my consciousness. And that word is dreams, the awesome power of dreams. Not too long ago, in an undergraduate class. It was a humanities class. A young man sat nervously in the back corner of the classroom, white-knuckled, gripping onto the corner of his seat. It was the first day of class, the first day of the fall, and icebreaker introductions were taking place. So your name, your interests, what you want to study. But what so many took for granted as just another thing to get through was in actuality a very difficult and challenging endeavor for this young man. He had a stutter. He had a speech impediment. When it was finally his turn, he managed by saying the bare minimum: his name, where he was from, and that he was still undecided. In fact, this is how most of his classes always went. He sat in the back, he didn't ask any questions, he didn't really partake in much of the conversation. He said the bare minimum required to get through. And that's exactly how it went for this course. That is, until the dreaded end of semester presentation. One day, he waited after class so he could speak with the professor. I can't do the presentation, he murmured. And the professor raised a brow. Why not? I just can't. I have a stutter, and I'm going to make a fool of myself. And the professor looked at him for a few moments, and then he said, but don't you think your words are worth hearing? I know they are. Take a chance on yourself. With some reluctance, the student agreed. And a week or so later, he smiled in his seat, having gone through the presentation to the best of his abilities. Sure, he stumbled and stuttered a bit, but his willingness to conquer his fears and take a chance enabled him to achieve things he never believed possible. It gave him the confidence, the momentum to chase his dreams. Imagine that. A simple nudge and show of confidence from a professor changed everything. You see, that same man never dreamed, not in a million years, that he'd be standing up at this very podium a decade and a half later, giving a speech to a room filled with important people. Thank you. But here I am. And that is testament to the awesome power of dreams, to the awesome power of education. It gives voice to the voiceless. It enables those without hope to find their path. And collectively, every single person in this room, all who call Hudson home, together we are creating a tapestry that is wondrous to behold. We are weavers of all the dreams of our students. And I know as the storm clouds of climate change, of AI and automation, of the politics and the volatile dynamics of the White House loom, as long as we hold true to our promise, the promise of education, as long as we continue to invest in our students, tomorrow will be a bright day filled with promise and the dreams of those who dreamt. I want to leave you all with 3 things that have made me a better teacher, a better student, and a better person. 1, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be open. 2, take a chance on yourself. And 3, follow your dreams. I would be remiss if I did not mention a 4th thing, and that's about a strong support system. My beautiful wife, April, lugged and dragged her feet through the ice and cold today, 7 months pregnant, to be here for me, and my father, my parents. My father is here today as well, so it's always great to have a strong support system in place. Thank you all, and let's have a wonderful spring.
Excellent, excellent, nice job, great job. So I'm going to ask Professor Eric Addison of the English department to come on up.
Okay, good morning, everyone. You'll just give me one moment here. So I'm here today representing the Poetry and Language Collective at HCCC. Unfortunately, today our student poet laureate was unable to join us. However, in just a minute, I'll be sharing with you 2 poems from some other students that came to some of our workshops, so we'll hear a little bit still from our students there. So I just want to give a brief overview of the Poetry and Language Collective and what we do. So our overarching goal is to bring literature, creativity to as many corners of the college and the community as we can. We mostly do this through writing, creative writing. I'm starting to realize more and more how many students want to come to these workshops, and they show up and they say, but I can't write. And I've learned to just say, okay, sure, whatever. We'll find out at the end of the workshop if you can't write. And then they produce really amazing, beautiful things that I'm not even sure they realized they were capable of doing after these workshops. So it's very rewarding. This semester, we have a couple exciting things happening. You'll probably hear from me. One is we're going to be trying to write a community poem. We have some structures in place. We haven't tried it before. So if I show up at your office begging you to be a little creative for 15 minutes with me, please let me in. Don't close the doors. Just be a little creative with us. And the second thing we're doing is a scrapbooking project where about 15 students will be documenting their lives throughout the semester and doing some creative writing about what happened to them. We'll actually be using disposable cameras, which I'll be very interested to see how students who've never used a non-digital camera respond to them. So we'll see how that works out. And I hope we'll get to show those at the end of the semester. So I'm going to show you 2 poems from one of our workshops last semester. The first one is a little more serious, and then we're going to finish with a limerick written by a student, which is a little more fun and silly too, and on a happy note. So the first one was written by a student, Mia Bernardo. She's an early college student. And this was done through a process called larding in poetry, which is where you write 2 lines of poetry, then you write a line in between those 2 lines, then you write another line in between those 3 lines, and so on until you finished your poem. So both of these poems have to deal with identity. It says, okay, the tragedies are sung nightly at the funerals of the poet. The revisited soul is wrapped in the aura of familiarity. The tragedies are sung nightly at the funerals of the poet. Elegies are less common than eulogies. The revisited soul is wrapped in the aura of familiarity. The tragedies are sung nightly at the funerals of the poet. Artists die 2 deaths. Elegies are less common than eulogies. People are praised only when they are dead. The revisited soul is wrapped in the aura of familiarity. The tragedies are sung nightly at the funerals of the poet, where wine is spilled and charcuterie is cut. Artists die 2 deaths, once when they stop creating, more painful than the second. Elegies are less common than eulogies. Her poems are timeless. People are praised only when they are dead. Time can only tell how she'll be remembered. The revisited soul is wrapped in the aura of familiarity. So this is the first poem. And the second poem is by student Anastasia Leskin, who chose to write a limerick for her identity poem. And this is what she wrote. A young man was found in a bog, repeating that he was a frog. When others would scoff, he'd awkwardly cough and move on to being a dog. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
That was fun. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. So at this time, the next person you're going to hear from is the president of Hudson County Community College, President Christopher Reber.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roberson. Happy New Year, everyone. Cold day, but as they say, cold hands, warm hearts. I know we have lots of warm hearts here today. It's great to see you all as we begin another semester and another year together. We welcome everyone today attending in person. It's great to see the room crowded and everyone attending virtually. If you're attending virtually, we would appreciate your turning cameras on, please. Before we begin, I ask you to join me in a moment of silence for victims of the devastating fires in California and victims of war and violence in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and throughout the world. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. We condemn violence and hatred of all kinds, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. We support one another in times of difficulty and we're committed to a community that's respectful of and safe for everyone. Today promises to be a wonderful opportunity for engagement, reflection, and professional development. It's one of my favorite days of the year, one of them. Commencement's up there too. But we really love celebrating together as we begin a new semester. I do want to thank Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Darrell Jones, as well as Director of the Center for Teaching, Learning, and Innovation, Dr. Paula Roberson, and all who work to plan and all who are participating in today's activities. We particularly thank members of the College Service Day Planning Committee. I'd like to just ask all members of the committee and all who helped plan College Service Day, could you please stand or wave if you're attending virtually and accept our gratitude? Thank you. It truly takes a village. Thank you all. Benny, thank you for your inspirational remarks, and thank you for being who you are. You are a valued member of the HCCC family, and it's also wonderful to have your family here with our family today. And Professor Eric Adamson, thank you for sharing the beautiful work of our students. They inspire us all, as do you. We love the work you're doing with our students in poetry and well beyond that. It's also a pleasure to welcome our new faculty and staff who will be introduced in a few minutes. Colleagues, welcome to your new roles, whether you're in a new role but have been here or whether you're new to the HCCC family. So today's a day of professional growth and also a day of celebration. We celebrate outstanding faculty and staff, including faculty who are recipients of the Philip Johnston Awards for Excellence in Teaching. We welcome and thank Dr. Weidong Ju for participating in the selection and presentation of these faculty award recipients. Dr. Ju is Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs at St. Peter's University. Thank you, Dr. Ju. And I'm pleased to tell you we had a really invigorating meeting, when was it, a couple weeks ago, with Dr. Ju and St. Peter's new president, Dr. Benedetto, and other members of the St. Peter's community. And you're all familiar with the work we've done to create HCCC NJCU Connect. And that has gone exceedingly well. And I'm pleased to tell you that we are working, I guess, can I say this? We're working right now on HCCC St. Peter's Connect Plus. So stay tuned and you'll learn what that means. And we're also continuing to develop that same model with other partners, Stevens Institute of Technology, Rutgers, and others. But Dr. Ju, thank you for your leadership, and it's a pleasure working with you. We also celebrate today colleagues who completed Association of College and University Educators credentials, AQ, and also those who've recently completed diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Congratulations in advance to all. You make us all proud. And on behalf of the entire Hudson County Community College family, it's my honor to welcome our keynote speaker, Hazel Applewhite. Is Hazel here yet? She's not here yet. Hope her ears are burning. She's Chief Executive Officer of Ironbound Community Corporation of Newark, New Jersey. She'll discuss the importance of inclusivity and community decision-making, including how the college and surrounding community can participate in civic engagement through teaching and learning, career pathways, and the recruitment of volunteers. And Ms. Applewhite will further share steps and strategies for advocating change through the courts, government, and civic engagement. Probably a very timely topic. We welcome her, we will welcome her, and we thank her for joining us today. So, speaking of celebrations, last evening our Board of Trustees approved the college's new 5-year strategic plan. Entitled The Community's College, Embracing Our History, Shaping Our Future, the detailed plan builds upon the college's remarkable success and charts specific strategic directions, goals, and action steps that will guide Hudson County Community College's continued upward trajectory of excellence in service of our students, our community, and of course our college mission. This plan was developed through a collaborative months-long, really year-long process in which hundreds and hundreds of college and surrounding community members were engaged, including probably all of you, certainly many of you. We thank all members of the HCCC family for their involvement and support in the planning process. And I do want to take this opportunity now, as I did last evening at the trustees meeting, to especially thank our valued colleague, Associate Vice President, Dr. Heather DeVries, for her stellar leadership of the planning process. Thank you, Heather. Where are you? It's modest. Really appreciate your work. Today's College Service Day theme, community engagement and civic responsibility, couldn't be more relevant. At this time of challenge, changes in our government, concerning nationwide dialogue about diversity, equity, inclusion, and other issues pertaining to education and social justice. Nonetheless, HCCC's overarching priorities in service to our students, our community, and our college mission remain steadfast and unchanged. We're committed to the success of our students, and we are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I said those words, and we celebrate them, because what that means here is the whole college community's galvanizing engagement around getting every one of our inspirational students to the finish line, to the achievement of their goals and dreams, which is transformational for everyone. And we will continue that work in earnest. So in our new strategic plan, these remain our focus, and they're definitely the foundation of our blueprint for the next 5 years and beyond. I would ask us together to continue to resolve our commitment to removing barriers and supporting our students in achieving their goals and dreams. And let us continue to live and breathe our culture of care for one another and for our community. If you haven't seen it yet, this is another celebratory item. I'm delighted to share that steel is being erected as we speak for the new 11-story Center for Student Success. You can see the new facility rising from the ground. I think it looks like 8 or so stories are now able to be seen in the erection of the steel. We expect all the steel to be erected by April or May, and we'll be hosting a steel signing ceremony in April, which should be fun. And the new parking stacker facility at 119 Newkirk Street has been completed, really, with one more piece. Permanent power will be provided to the site as soon as several electrical poles are relocated, which is expected to be completed by PSE&G very shortly, after which we'll be ready to open this facility. This will provide 104 new cost-free parking spaces for faculty, staff, and students on a first-come, first-served basis. So please stay tuned for communication regarding the opening of this parking stackers facility in the very near future. And allow me to take this opportunity to thank Vice President Dr. Nicholas Chevrolotti for his continuing dedicated leadership of both of these critical new facilities projects. Thank you, Nicholas. He's in the cloud today. And before I conclude, I'd like to share some wonderful late-breaking news. And if you attended the trustee meeting yesterday, forgive me because I said this there as well. On the heels of the college's receipt last year of a stunning 3 national awards of excellence from the American Association of Community Colleges, the largest professional association in our national community college sector. Those awards included, as you'll recall, the naming of our wonderful colleague, Dr. Clive Lee, as AACC's 2024 Faculty Member of the Year. Is Dr. Lee here? No? Well, Dr. Lee, you inspire us all. Also, the college received AACC's 2024 Student Success Award of Excellence for the Hudson Scholars Program. And of course, I had the honor of being named AACC's CEO of the Year. In following on the heels of those honors, we celebrate now 3 national finalists for this year's AACC 2025 Awards of Excellence. These finalists were published in last Friday's national AACC Community College Daily publication. So we congratulate Associate Vice Presidents Lori Margolin and Dr. Heather DeVries for their leadership that's led to the college's selection as one of 5 finalists for AACC's 2025 Outstanding College Corporate Partnership Award for the college's incarcerated and reentry training programs. Heather and Lori, thank you. And we also are so happy to congratulate Associate Dean of Career and Transfer Pathways, Jennifer Valkersel, who's one of 3 finalists for AACC's 2025 Rising Star Manager of Excellence. Jen, are you here? Is Jen here? And congratulations to Associate Professor of Chemistry and Coordinator of the Construction Management Program, Azar Mahmood, who's one of 3 finalists for AACC's 2025 Faculty Innovation Award of Excellence. Is Dr. Mahmood here? Congratulations, Azar. Everyone's here except our award recipients, finalists. Lori, Heather, Jen, and Azar, thank you for your dedication and your excellence. You make us all proud. And colleagues and students, thank you for everything you do every day to provide transformational and life-changing opportunities for our students, our college, and our community. I look forward to participating with and supporting all of you this spring and throughout 2025 in the life of this great college. Hudson is home. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Reber, for those insightful words. So I was sitting there and listening to Benny speak and listening to Eric speak, and my phone chimed, and the text read, "Daryl, what amazing hires." And I agree. Benny, Yes. We interviewed you, we hired you, you got married, you're adding to your family, and now you're doing the faculty greeting. Continued success in all that you do. Eric, he texted me early this morning, said, "Daryl, our poet laureate, I haven't heard from her. I don't know what to do." I said, "Eric, you do what you do. You got this." Eric, thank you for subbing. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. And President Reber, I think we filled the room. I think we did it. There's still some faces that aren't on camera yet. So, Willie, if you could send another message, I would appreciate that. But good morning, everyone, and please allow me to offer some introductory words about the Philip Johnston Award for Excellence in Teaching. And as Chris was reading his remarks, there were many, many examples of excellence among our faculty and our staff. So what exactly is teaching excellence? I view teaching excellence as an academic process by which students are motivated to learn in ways that make a sustained, substantial, and positive influence on how they think, how they act, and how they feel. Teaching excellence is a process that elevates students to a level where they learn deeply and remarkably because of teacher attributes. Some of those attributes include subject matter expertise, pedagogical proficiency, excellent communication, systematic and continual assessment, and student-centered mentorship. This award was first established in 2012 and was made possible through the generous sponsorship of Mr. Philip Johnston. Mr. Johnston was chair of the foundation board, and for many years, he sponsored and supported our students in various events, travels, and scholarships. In fact, the Johnston Room, where you had breakfast, was named in his honor because of his dedication to the college and his assistance in helping the college grow to where it is today. In 2012, the first two faculty members to receive the Philip Johnston Award was Joe Caniglia, who currently serves as executive director of the North Hudson campus, and Saida Jesmond, who is associate professor of ESL. Since that time, dozens of well-deserving faculty have been nominated and received this prestigious award. Last year's recipient of the award was Alana Winslow, who's here today, associate professor of business, and Faisal Al-Jamal, assistant professor of computer science, both here today. This award is a message to our faculty that they are recognized and appreciated, not only by us, but the community at large. Unfortunately, Mr. Johnston passed away prior to the event last year and was unable to witness his continued legacy. However, his family continues to support this award and has pledged to do so in the coming years. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce this year's external judge for the Philip Johnston Award, Dr. Weidong Zhu, Interim Vice President of St. Peter's University. Dr. Zhu, I am very grateful for your participation and presentation this morning. I phone call and he said, yes, absolutely. So thank you for being here. Prior to his current appointment, Dr. Zhu served as St. Peter's for over 17 years in a variety of roles, including professor of physics, chair of applied science and technology, and director of the Center for Microplasma Sciences. He received his PhD right here in Hudson County at Stevens Institute of Technology. Early in his career, he worked at the Center of Bioelectrics at Old Dominion University in Virginia and the Non-Thermal Plasma Science and Technology Group at Stevens Institute of Technology. His professional background and extensive research is indeed impressive as it is interesting. He focused on the fundamental studies of atmospheric pressure, non-thermal plasmas, and their applications to biology, biomedicine, dentistry, and environment. His research projects have been sponsored by the United States federal government, the United States Air Force Office of Scientific Research, as well as the American Chemical Society Petroleum Research Fund. He is a member of the American Physical Society, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, and a founding member of the International Society for Plasma Medicine. In addition to all of this, he holds not one, but several patents, 2 in the United States and 5 with China. Please join me in extending a warm Hudson County Community College welcome to Dr. Weidong Zhu. Dr. Zhu.
Thank you, Dr. Jones, for that warm introduction. Good morning, everyone. Morning. One thing that was not in my bio was that I did not grow up in this country. I came to this country at the age of 25, learned English at the age 12, and learned my Jersey City accent since 2007. So it is really a privilege to be here today, to be asked to serve this function for the external judge of the Philip Johnston Award for Excellence in Teaching. They say teaching is the only profession that you steal supplies from home to bring to work. But in this room, we call it dedication. And judging by the brilliance of the educators we're honoring today, I imagine there are some very well-stocked classrooms and labs thanks to their unwavering commitment. So as Dr. Jones just mentioned and Dr. Reber mentioned quite a few awards that you received from AACC. So I want to congratulate those award recipients in various categories again. But for this particular award, Philip Johnston Award, embodies the commitment for fostering inspiring students and shaping the future through education. We recognize not only the remarkable individuals who will be receiving this award today, but also the collective effort for the institutions like Hudson, like St. Peter's, the transformative power of education. Hudson is a shining example of what it means to provide accessible, high-quality education to a diverse and vibrant community. The faculty and staff here are relentless in their dedication to the success of the students. You serve as guides, mentors, and advocates for the learners, empowering them to reach new heights. And this commitment resonates deeply with the mission and values we hold at St. Peter's University, where we strive to equip our students with not only academic knowledge, but also the moral and ethical compass to lead purposeful lives. Both of our institutions share a very deep dedication to serve the underserved population, right, as Dr. Reber mentioned, and we're still committed to do that. And we also commit to serve first-generation students, right? And Hudson has many of them, and St. Peter's has many of them. And I myself was a first-generation student, navigating through the education system in China and also in US by myself. So I can truly appreciate what you do for your students and what your students enjoy through your dedication. So together we have built pathways to provide opportunities to those who may not have had them otherwise. This mission is at the core of our collaborative efforts, past and present, and it remains a driving force as we look forward to the future. Over the years, the collaboration between Hudson and St. Peter's has grown in strength and significance. As Dr. Reber just mentioned not too long ago, in December, the two institutions got together, the senior leadership team met at Hudson, and thank you for hosting us. And we talked about how we can further our collaboration and strengthen our collaboration. We discussed a lot of aspects, but two things really floats to the top of my mind. And as Dr. Reber just mentioned, that we plan to mirror the HCCC and NJCU Connect program, but we wanted to move it one step further, and we'll call it Connect Plus. That would open accelerated pathways for advanced degrees at St. Peter's to Hudson students. The other thing floats to the top of my mind is the APEX initiative that St. Peter's is embarking on. That is short for Academic and Professional Excellence Experience. That would provide a seamless pathway for dual degree associate students to earn a bachelor's degree, 2 professional certificates, and an accelerated master's degree, and gain real-world experience all in 4 years and at almost the cost of our highly affordable tuition in 4 years, right? So these are only examples of things we plan to do. I'm sure various areas of the two institutions will get together in the next few months to really carry out the plan. Also, I want to mention over the years, St. Peter's have had the privilege of welcoming many talented students from Hudson and will continue to do so. These students have not only excelled academically and gone on to achieve incredible success in their lives, they also become role models for their peers at Hudson and at St. Peter's. And their story are a testament to the power of education and the strength of our collaboration. Right. So a few names came to mind that is a product of Hudson, who are working at St. Peter's right now. One is Taina Cutler, who graduated from Hudson, who is the executive director of our Center for Career Engagement and Experiential Learning. And we have also Mary Mercado, who graduated from Hudson, who is also working in the same departments. And as a matter of fact, Mary connected me with Dr. Jones, and I'm really appreciative of that. And today, as we celebrate the exceptional educators who are shaping the minds and hearts of future generation, and let us also take a moment to affirm our shared commitments to education as a cornerstone of our society. Excellence in teaching, as exemplified by the 2 award recipients today, which I will announce shortly, is not merely a goal, it is a journey, one that requires passion, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the potential of every student. So before I announce the recipients of the award, I am reminded of a line from the TV show, The Knight Rider. So many of you probably watched that. And that was by the way, that was a TV show introduced me to American culture. It goes like this: one man can make a difference. So I want to expand that to one person can make a difference. And here in this room, every individual is making a difference, and whether it is through teaching, through mentoring, or simply believing in the potential of our students. Your efforts are shaping the lives and futures in ways that are profound and far-reaching. So I think now is the critical moment. There's no drum rolls, but let me try to get to the award recipient. I wanted to tell you a little bit the behind the scenes. So I received the call, and I committed to do this. And there were numerous nominations, and it was really, really a difficult decision for me to make. And it's so difficult that I actually missed the deadline by 2 days. But finally, I communicated back to Dr. Jones, these are my selections. So I want to go with the first award recipient, Professor Karen Hosley. Congratulations. 60 seconds.
60 seconds, you got it.
All of a sudden, it's very cold outside, but I'm very, very hot. I just want to say thank you to my dean for nominating me for this. And also I want to echo what Benny was saying earlier. I think it really takes a support system. And everyone that has been on my journey with me here for the last 5 years, I really appreciate that. And I also want to say to my husband at home, who's home with my sick son today, so I could be here in person. I know he's not listening, but thank you, Pete. I appreciate that.
The second award recipient is Professor Jerry Lam.
Jerry, you have to say something.
Well, this is truly a surprise. I don't know who nominated me, but I thank you for being thoughtful. And, you know, it's been a rough year. As you know, I lost my mother. But, you know, this is especially important because it was thoughtful, whoever did nominate me. And, you know, over the recess and throughout the years, I've always, if, you know, I do long-term mentoring in addition to teaching, and it's always a blessing to receive calls and be invited to weddings and you know, unfortunately, so many things I've just been invited to by former students, and it's always about being thoughtful because we teach our subject matters, and we always have to be present because you just never know when you have an impact on another person's life. You don't know. We've been doing this 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. This is what we do. But for someone else, it's their first. And so you just never know what you say that will forever have an impact on another person's life. You don't know. because you may be saying the same thing over and over again. But sometimes there's only people that can only hear your voice. We're all different. We all have different personalities, and people connect with us differently. And so I want to remind everybody to be present wherever you are, with whomever you're talking to always be intentional about what you say and what you do, and to be thoughtful. Because this is an example of I didn't know, but someone thought of me. And someone's thinking of you each day. They may not call you, they may not send you an email, but you matter. We all matter. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Follow his lead.
All right, congratulations again to everyone.
Congratulations, Dr. Lamb and Karen. Can we give them another round of applause, please? Thank you. It's nothing like your colleagues saying to you, well done. That means a lot. Thank you. So, did all of you receive your raffle tickets today as you came in? Okay. So, through a generous grant of the Center for Teaching and Learning, we have, for this campus, 5 $25 gift cards to Flick today. So that's good for a couple of coffees. All right, and 5 also went up to North Hudson. So 10 of you will be receiving 10 gift cards today for $25. So take your ticket out, and the number is 022244. Okay, we have a winner. Excellent. Thank you. All right, beautiful. So hold on to those little tickets because they're going to mean a lot when you walk on campus from out in this cold weather and you end up going straight to the cafeteria. I don't even walk to the library. I try to take the shortest route, so I cut in through the cafeteria. All right, so today, this morning, we are going to proceed with an academic roll call. Very similar to the reporting out that we used to do a couple years ago. I was sitting and watching back in November, I think it was, maybe no, October, the DNC, and I was like, that'd be really cool to do with our academic schools. Let's see if we can do it for College Service Day. So the committee agreed, and this is what we have coming today. And I'm going to call up the academic schools, and they are going to respond in kind to what is happening in their school. So the purpose of the roll call is to share with the college community and faculty present what is happening in the various schools represented around the institution. Let's pay attention to what our faculty and staff have been doing, have done, and are going to do this academic year. To the School of Business, Culinary, and Hospitality, Dean Ara Karakashian. What is your report?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to Dr. Roberson and the committee for allowing us the opportunity to talk about our academic schools today. Thank you. Some of you may not know this, but the School of Business, Culinary Arts, and Hospitality Management also encompasses the following disciplines: baking and pastry arts, accounting, supply chain management, which in the college catalog is also known as transportation, logistics, and distribution, and also, of course, cannabis studies. And also, some of you may not know this, but more than half of our faculty have been involved in their own entrepreneurial pursuits over the years, some before coming here to teach full-time, and some simultaneously as full-time employees and faculty of this institution. So they've been involved in industries such as ice carving, consulting, owning a bakery or catering or baked goods businesses, owning a chocolate shop, running a luncheonette, or of course catering. I think a lot of our people start with catering, and that's always a point of success for many people. Many of my faculty participate in the Foundation Gala. I know with my full-time faculty, they're donating 60, 80 hours of their time leading up to and including the day of the gala. And that is their contribution and their stewardship on an annual basis to the betterment of the college through fundraising efforts, which in turn, of course, assist our students. But I especially wanted to recognize all of my full-time faculty, all of whom are actively involved, culinary and non-culinary. So when I please state your name, please rise and be recognized. Kevin O'Malley, Gary Bensky, Sammy Kazam, Alana Winslow, Lester McRae, Courtney Payne, Dr. Peter Cronrath, Carrie Rong Xiao, Marissa Lantak, and Sharon Daughtry. Joining this short list of rock stars that I just named to you is also Miss Janine Nunez, who is actually our recruiter, but actually holds 3 different hats within this building as den mother, guidance counselor. I mean, she's everybody's second or third mother. And again, the names that I read for you are in rank by tenure order or years of service towards the college as a full-time faculty member. Unfortunately, due to health concerns, Kevin O'Malley and Sammy Kazam are not with us today, so we hope for their renewed health and their triumphant return to their own kitchens, because they have their own kitchens. Frozen. Just hit the space bar, I don't care. It's okay, we have some trivia, and I'm going to also give you some helpful advice which will help you whether you go out to eat tonight or whether you go to a Super Bowl party, the do's and don'ts of what to do when you're dining out, even in people's houses. Just because they're your friend doesn't mean they know how to cook. Don't forget that. Okay, fact or fiction. Ready? We have a few of these. Culinary arts and baking and pastry students prepare all the meals for college service day, all college faculty orientation, faculty PA events, convocation, etc. Fact or fiction? Fiction. There's an incorrect assumption that culinary takes care of all the food on campus, and that is not accurate. So Flick prepares about 95% of what you experience throughout your time here on campus. The Culinary Arts Institute handles the Foundation Dining Series, which is on Fridays. We also, of course, handle the gala and also some new fundraisers, which you'll hear about very shortly. Here's another one. Fact or fiction, the food pantries have received over 22,000 meals prepared by the Culinary Arts faculty and Culinary Club students. Fact or fiction? Of course, fact. And we're very proud of that fact because a lot of our unused food inventory is repurposed in the form of high quality and nutritious meals for those in need. This is our last trivia question. Fact, right? So this was a monumental task, and many of my faculty were very heavily involved in this. It was a 2-year-long planning process. But our culinary and baking programs have had accreditation continuously since 1997. And we're one of only 3 programs at the community college level in New Jersey, the other 2 being Atlantic Cape and Brookdale that have this. Okay, we're going to switch gears. We'll talk business and accounting for a few minutes, and we'll end it back with culinary, of course. Because, sorry, I don't have samples for you today, but you always end it on a good note, and you get people's interest peaked. So, our business and accounting faculty, they hold many student-centered activities and events throughout the year, and here's a list of some of them. Business alumni virtual speaker panels, guest speakers, business speaker series. We have our faculty come together and share best practices that they do in the class and beyond. Here are some more. We have the Mission 50 competition, utilizing the Mission 50 space, which is actually located on the border of Hoboken and Jersey City. We go to other institutions, such as St. Peter's and JCU, et cetera. And of course, we have collaborations between different departments, such as PAC Day and other events. Now, the next 3 slides, in order to provide appropriate APA MLA citation, were not prepared by me and are a lot more glamorous than the slides I showed you. They were actually prepared by Dr. Peter Cronrath and Professor Alana Winslow, so I thank them for this. But essentially, this is a new exciting initiative within the School of BCH, and I thank Alana and Peter for spearheading the first cohort of students for this program. And on the next few slides, I'm going to summarize what the students are experiencing. So this program essentially began this past fall semester, where you have students participating in Hudson Best, Business Education Supplemental Training. So what does this entail? The students are receiving varied levels of professional development and training. They're earning badges, which I'll get to in a moment. But these are the topical areas that you see. I'm not going to read them all from this list, but they're all relevant areas which will benefit them immediately or in the next 5 to 10 years in their careers. Specifically, there were 21 students interested in the program, 11 committed fully, and the retention rate is 100%. And I think Alana and Peter deserve a special round of applause for that because it's not easy. All 11 have earned badges, some of them multiple badges. They are meeting with the students. We have one-on-one mentorship, 1 mentor per student. So it's not easy to convince 11 people to volunteer their time one-on-one with a HCCC student to be their mentor. And of course, there's activities, updating their resumes, discussing careers, trips, guest speakers, etc. We have a business and accounting club, which is, of course, under the leadership of Professor Daughtry and Professor McCrae. They have all types of tours, of course, to Wall Street. They participate in the Hispanic Heritage Parade. They have visited the Bloomberg headquarters and have done other similar activities. All right, I know some of you are salivating. Let's get back to culinary, okay? If some of you may not know this, I have an associate's degree in culinary arts, so I was born and raised in all of that, so it's part of my blood forever. So Culinary Club. Here's a small sampling of Culinary Club events. We've had an event every year, every May, which we call the Friends and Family. If you're unable to make it to our gala, for about $50, you can come to a mini gala, which occurs on our 3rd floor. And all the students come and they prepare food items, which are all pre-approved and pre-screened by faculty. They don't just say, I'll make this, I'll make that. No, if their food is not approved, it's not served on that night. So I assure you, you're not getting chicken parm. It's all elegant food, okay? No offense to chicken parm. Here's a picture of some of our past events, the complimentary soup. These are some Culinary Club students, of course, volunteering their time. New this year, under the leadership and guidance of Chef Courtney Payne, who thought of this idea, we are beginning different fundraising initiatives. First one was the pie sale, which occurred in November. And of course, this past December, which was the gingerbread cookie sale. The intention behind doing these events is not just to have a bake sale. This isn't some high school boring bake sale. All the fundraising, all the revenue from this is going towards sending culinary, baking, and hospitality students to travel abroad to Italy. We have fun. As some of you say casually, we know how to get down, okay? This is a picture from December when we had our holiday gathering at a local restaurant within walking distance of here, where we also honored our retiree, Miss Tanya Webb. You probably have seen Tanya if you've had the benefit of dining in our dining series. She was the only manager that dining series has ever seen since spring of 2010. That's 28 to 30 grand openings with 28 to 30 different rosters of students every semester from scratch. So she decided to step aside this year, and we honored her and also had some fun. Of course, we know how to have fun, like I said earlier, and I think you guys would know that. Being people in our industry, we know how to have fun, I think, better than most of this room. No offense.
I brought him one. You want to put it on?
So some of you have seen this certificate when you go to a restaurant. You're like, what is that? Is that some kind of governmental thing? Is it some obligatory thing? Well, guess what? Each food establishment in the state of New Jersey must have one person with this certificate. It's ServSafe Manager Certification. That means that when the health department comes in, that person is the person that's going to be approached and will be doing a walkthrough with the health inspector. Okay? And without this, the operation cannot continue. They'll get shut down. So I'm about to show you 3 examples of what you should also be seeing and whether or not you should stay or leave when you see these at the lobby, at the podium, okay? First, just think blue and white. You see blue and white, you're fine. Blue, white, and black, you're good. So what does this mean? You can stay and eat. The kitchen is clean and sanitary, okay? So you'll have the ServSafe certificate on one side, and you'll have something that just says satisfactory with white background, black font, you're good, okay? Now, if you see yellow, don't even take your jacket off. They were inspected. The place was a mess, yet not messy enough to be shut down. What is the comparative grading for this in New York City? Grade pending. You're probably wondering, wow, this place has been here for 40 years in Manhattan. Why does it say grade pending? Because they were inspected, and the place was dirty, and now they're fighting the grade, and they're being re-inspected very shortly thereafter. So grade pending means it's dirty, in short, okay? And if you see this, on the last one, change your plans. You're not even going past the front door. They're already shut down. I must say it's an honor and a privilege to work at Hudson County Community College, and I thank my staff and all of you for being so supportive. Thank you, everybody. Just packing up. Oops. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Karakashian. Your report has been received. Wasn't that great? Next, to Executive Director Matthew LeBrake, Center of Online Learning. What is your report?
Might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along
right, the Center for Online Learning is present, and we're excited to be here. We're not an academic school, but we're still flattered to be asked to share out here. So both personally and professionally, the COL team has been on fire. First, let's give a warm welcome to Shelly Nas, our new instructional technologist. And huge congrats to Dr. Bob Kahn and Callie Martin on the recent promotions. Our COL team's also growing in the best ways. Tayaba Hafiz welcomed her new baby boy, Gibran, and Callie Martin was married in November. This year, the COL team went all in on professional development, attending and presenting at state and national conferences such as the Online Learning Consortium, ACU, Association for Computing and Education, Achieving the Dream, and the New Jersey Distance Education Summit. At these events, we don't just attend, we learn, we lead, and we bring back best practices to enhance student success and faculty engagement, especially in emerging areas like generative AI. So some of the new initiatives we implemented this year include new online course information modules for students and faculty, placing important information at point of need in Canvas, updated syllabi templates to ensure consistent policies across our online courses, new instructor announcement templates to improve communication with our students, and a large-scale accessibility project to ensure an inclusive and equitable learning experience where all students can succeed. And we're not just behind the scenes. This year, we reached hundreds of instructors and students through workshops, guest speakers, self-paced courses, and special events like our generative AI professional learning community. We've also been busy expanding our fully online program offerings. In 2024, we grew from 16 to 21 fully online programs, and there are at least 5 more on the roadmap for 2025. So before I close, let's talk results because the numbers speak for themselves. Online enrollment continues to grow semester after semester. In fall 2024, just over 2,700 students, a third of our population, are taking one or more online classes, and just under 1,000 students are enrolled exclusively in online courses, which is a 22% increase from last year. Additionally, student success in online courses is on the rise, with average grades improving by 4.5% in the last year and almost 10% over the last 3 years. And here's the big one. For the first time ever, we've officially closed the student achievement gap between online and on-site modalities. So it's an exciting time for Hudson Online and the Center for Online Learning as we continue to grow, scale, and innovate, always with student success at the heart of what we do. Members of the COL team, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you for letting us share, and here's to an amazing spring semester.
Thank you, Center for Online Learning. Your report has been received. To the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, ESL and English, Dean Dr. Allison Wakefield. What is your report?
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone. Happy New Year. Is it too late for that already? All right, so I always have a problem with reading and looking without the glasses. So I think we took the assignment a little different, Paula. So I'm going to start with the talking, and then we'll move over to the other portion. I was reflecting as I was listening on the theme of community engagement, and I'm really very proud of everything that has happened over the last year for the School of Humanities and Social Sciences. I was absent in the fall, as many of you know, and I really appreciate Katie for stepping in. I appreciate my office staff on the 3rd floor and on the 4th floor for really coming together and helping everybody and being really collaborative. Now I'm thinking about Jerry. No, I'm gonna cry. Sorry. And to my faculty that really did some amazing, amazing things for the fall and for the entire year, much of which I didn't get to see or participate in, but I'm going to give everybody a little glimpse. A special shout out to our new director interim for ESL, Matt Kolbus, who was the mastermind and conspirator behind today's presentation, so he gets full props for that. Well, I think it was pretty much you, but well, unless it's really good and then it was all me. So I think that might be a pool host joke that I just stole, so there we go. But before I transition to our second portion, I would like to mention some things that that we did get up to this year. So this is also our fabulous faculty, and especially some of our junior faculty that are really out there in the community, participating and taking our students on lots and lots of adventures and really giving them that experience of walking the walk, talking the talk, seeing what other experiences are, and connecting them to the world around them, which is so important for humanities and social sciences. So just to try, Burl said I talk too fast, so I'm trying to slow down. Thank you, Burl. Drs. Codes and Yosef, along with Professor Sweeting, accompanied 40-plus students on a walking tour of Hamilton and Burr's dueling grounds in Weehawken. They followed that to a trip to Manhattan to attend Hamilton on Broadway. Yeah, I missed that one. I was really bummed I missed that one. Drs. Cody and Yosef, along with members of the staff, accompanied 20-plus students on a walking tour of the Brooklyn Bridge, Wall Street, and a rich history of Lower Manhattan. Professor Knapp, for the third consecutive year, has hosted the Apex Solutions Group, which provided support and workforce training for justice-involved community members. Apex is unique that it is solely staffed by ex-military and retired law enforcement officers, and thank you to Dr. Jones for helping with that graduation. I appreciate that. ESL and theater really teamed up well this year, and they did a lot of collaboration with Professor Gallo. There were several trips to Manhattan, where members of the along with members of the academic support services. They went to a theater. There was a theater festival. There was a playwright festival that had two special actors. We had Professor Pujols and not Dr. Pujols. Where is she? Sovi's back there somewhere. Thank you, Sovi. And Professor Nash both performed at the playwright festival. There was also, what else did we do? Professor Acevedo, along with others, accompanied students to the National Museum of African American History in Washington. Professor Typen was the mastermind behind a digital signage that we installed on the 5th floor of the L building that displays student work on a rotation loop, which is lovely. Professors Cody and Acevedo also presented at the American History Association, which is wonderful when we are out in the community and sharing what we're doing with large national organizations. There was participation in Paula's Teaching and Learning Symposium for Social Justice. There was a FEM Digital Artist Reception Talk. Professor Dorothy Anderson from Slavery to Freedom. Oh, come on. Don't, you're cute. Like the big hook comes in and out I go. I get it, Willie, I see you, thank you. Professor Dorothy Anderson has her personal collection. Professor Cuellar and I accompanied the psychology club to the Albert Ellis Institute to participate in a live therapy session in Manhattan. That was quite an experience to watch people receive therapy in front of 60 people, like being a little fly on the wall. Professor Sweeting had her book launch for Remnant, and woo, I think a lot of us saw that. We had our third ESL graduation in the spring, which seems to grow every year and which is lovely to see. Drs. Pack, Professor Anderson, and along with the help of Lori Margolin, had a literacy forum, which also hosted ex-Governor McGreevey. Education Club also had a ribbon cutting, thank you to Dr. Reber, which provide children's books, and it's an exchange. There are so many other things. I'm going to stop here. Are you guys ready? You totally flustered me further. I'm ready. Hit it, Willie. I'm getting out of the way.
Hey, be there. Let's get it started in here.
And the bass keeps running and running and running and running. In this context, there's no disrespect, so when I bust my rhyme, you break your necks. We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm affect. To lose the inhibition, follow your intuition, free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girl, it's pulling me out. You wouldn't believe how we wow. We burn it Everybody, let's get into it. Get stoked, get it started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah.
Lose control, a body and soul. Don't move too fast, people just take it slow. Don't get ahead, just jump into it. Y'all hear about it? The P's will do it. Get started, get stupid. Don't worry about it, people will walk you through it step by step like an infant new kid. Inch by inch with a new solution. Transmit hits with no delusion. The feeling's irresistible and that's how we move it.
Everybody, let's get into it. Get stoked, get it started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Running. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Come on, y'all. Running. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get ill, that's the deal. Applicator will bring the bug dot thrills. Lose your mind, this is the time. You can't stand still, just bang your spine. Just bob your head like me, Apple D. Up inside your club or in your Bentley. Get messy, loud and sick. Your mind fast, no more than another head trip. Come them now, do not correct it. Let's get ignorant, let's get hectic. Everybody, let's get into it. Get stoked, get started, get started, get started. Come on, y'all. Let's get it.
Don't you love it?
Dr. Yearwood just left the room, y'all.
To the School of Humanities, Dr. Dean Wakefield, your report has been received. Next year, we're going to have an award ceremony, Oscars, and black tie. My goodness. To the North Hudson Campus Executive Director, Joseph Caniglia, what is your report?
just begun to get our share of this world's delight. High hopes we have for the future and our goals in sight. We know we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. Oh no, this is our family jewel. We are family. Sing it to me. I got all my sisters and me. Sing it to me.
Thank you, Mr. Caniglia and North Hudson Campus. Your report has been received. Dr. Dean Dr. Catherine Sarangelo, School of Nursing and Health Professions. What is your report?
Well, first of all, I didn't know I needed a production company and a camera crew. I have 4 slides. We're a school that has over 1,600 students enrolled at any semester and 20 different programs. We have a lot of professional staff and faculty that not only teach here, but also work in the hospital or in clinics throughout the county. So I don't have lots of pictures and glamour, but I do have a team. And I ask my team to come forward, please. Dr. Sirhan Abdullah, Dr. Lori Bird, and Director Cheryl Cashel, who will give you highlights and what's new in the division. Sirhan.
I had planned to sing, but my... So I'm here to talk about our upcoming pharmacy tech program. It'll be starting in the fall of 2025. Currently, the state of New Jersey has about 200 vacant positions in pharmacy technician. Our program is a 30-credit certificate-based program. Our students who complete the program will need to get certified by the Pharmacy Technician Certifying Board. Our students can work at retail pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens and Costco. Some of the things that they learn in the program is compounding. They learn some administrative skills. So we look forward to starting this program in the fall of 2025. We're very excited about it. So if you have students who are interested in getting a short-term like certificate where they can work, bring them over to our School of Nursing and Health Science. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Dr. Lori Bird. I'm the director of the nursing program. First of all, I'd like my team to please stand up. This is a group that works very hard to graduate our future nurses. And right now, our NCLEX pass rate is at 86%. Are we happy with that? No, but we're satisfied. And we always strive to do a little better. Our licensing exam, known as NCLEX, lets the public know that we are producing graduates that are safe to practice nursing. And you as the public want safe nurses taking care of you. Okay, so we always strive to do a little bit better, and we are continuing to do better. The nursing program has 3 divisions, a day, evening, and weekend program. We admit in the fall semester 110 to 120 students. So they're spread out through the 3 divisions, and we strive very hard to help them succeed throughout our program. In the fall of 2025, we started a new program where all of our freshman students are assigned a mentor to help them facilitate their success in our program. It's a rigorous program, and students sometimes they don't realize how hard nursing is. But again, we produce safe nursing. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Cashel, and I guess I would like to have my team stand also, Miss Cruz. I say X, you say Ray. X-ray. Thank you. So the radiography program came here when the nursing program officially started also. Program's been around since the late 60s in some form or another, and it has been continuous in Hudson County since then. Radiography is a good combination of technical and patient care, where you take care of people, everyone kind of probably had an x-ray. As far as how our program is growing or expanding or adding, we have added several New Jersey Imaging Network clinical sites, which are valuable, not just to go to the hospitals. We've been in discussion with Lenox Hill Radiology for students to rotate to at least one site over in Manhattan. Recent discussion with a surgical orthopedic center, so the students will have some more operative exposure than just at the hospitals. Those will be scheduled so they'll know what to prepare for. Our pass rate for the last 5 years has been 86%. This year, our current pass rate is 86% also, and it's first time. These students go on to retake the test and pass again, but for accreditation, we only look at our first time. And as far as our incoming base of students, we're allowed to take 18 to 20 based on clinical site facilities as far as their resources, not ours. And projected jobs are increase is about 16,000 a year up until about 2023. No, 32. Sorry about that. 2032. Currently on Indeed, there are 325 job openings in Jersey City. I'm sure that's a little overestimated, but there are a lot of openings, everything in healthcare. Anything in this division is always a good choice for any student. You will always find a position in healthcare. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank my team, and I do promise next year, maybe we'll give you all physicals or something like that. I don't know. But thank you all. They make me proud every day of my 25 years here. I'm very proud of all of them. Thank you.
To the School of Nursing, your report has been received. Y'all want a lifesaver? Okay, Joe wanted to, I didn't give Joe an opportunity to speak, but Joe Caniglio wanted to speak. While we're waiting for Joe.
Can everyone hear me?
One second, Joe. Number 022200. Chris Cody?
You see me better now? Yeah. Are we ready, Paula? Hi, good afternoon. Well, good morning, everyone. So, as you know, the North Hudson campus is very excited about today's College Service Day, and I just want to provide everyone with some updates about our campus. First, as many of you know, we have a new associate director for the North Hudson campus, Diana Galvez. Last night at the Board of Trustees meeting, a new position was approved at the North Hudson campus, a Student Services Assistant position. I am so excited about this position because the person who's going to be filling this position will be learning about all of the different departments in the Enrollment Services Center and to better help our students through the enrollment process. I'd like to introduce to you and welcome Yanlin Teneo. She is the new full-time student secretary. Also, our campus is very clean, it's very safe, so I'd like to give a shout out to Jack Velasquez and his team and Cesar Castillo and his team for making the Mental Health and Wellness Center has been expanding at the North Hudson campus. Recently, we received a new social worker. I'd like to introduce Alexa Yaka and her at the North Hudson campus. So we appreciate them very much. Our students are utilizing these services and all of the other support services on campus. So we're greatly appreciative to them. As you may know, the North Hudson campus has 7 new ITV classrooms. This will better help us serve our students and offering more classes. So we're very happy about that. And also 5 new interns for our Project Search program. A special thanks to Marisol Funes and Fabio Cruz. Without them, they're doing an amazing job working with these interns. I could not run this campus without the staff, faculty, everyone that's on campus. So I want to really give a shout out to the entire team, and especially my staff, Diana, Jason Figueroa, Ora Matias, and all of the teachers. You do an amazing job. And the Enrollment Services Center, they do an amazing job in registering and working with our students, especially now. It's very busy down there. So thanks to the entire campus. A few more things, and I'll let you go. The North Hudson Advisory Board is going to have its spring meeting very shortly. There are about 19 people on the advisory board from Hudson County Community College and the surrounding community at North Hudson. We work collaboratively together to help make our community and our school a better place for all. This past November, the North Hudson campus held its 3rd annual Aspiring Student Leadership Conference for HCCC students and the local high school students in the vicinity of the North Hudson campus. Over 340 students were in attendance. I'd like to give a shout out, Angelo Tuzzo and I and our planning committee, Christian Almatario, Larry Anderson, and Sebastian Peacock, and everyone else, Diana and Jason, who was involved in organizing this event, actually the entire North Hudson campus, to help make the event run smoothly. And we also had our first STEM science fair. We had over 90 presentations, and a shout out to Dr. Yearwood and his faculty for making this event very successful. And our one-stop day is approaching for our high school students in the area. Diana, Jason, and Larry are working vigorously with our local high schools to have them visit our campus. Girly Gian Baptiste also. Students, when they visit us, it'll be sometime in April, right, Diana? We'll have a tour. They'll partake in some workshops. They'll take the placement exam, and they will register for the fall semester all in one day. So we're looking forward to that. And lastly, staff at the North Hudson campus have participated and attended conferences throughout the past year. Diana and I went to recently the Haiku Conference, Encore Conference. Diana, I, and Diliana Costa presented there. And I had the amazing opportunity, and I want to thank Dr. Reber and Dr. Jones. I was accepted to present at the Higher Education Conference in Barcelona, Spain, a few months ago. It was an amazing experience. A lot of faculty and staff from across the world. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Joe.
Thank you, Joe Caniglia. And finally, okay, now and finally, Dr. D. I can't.
You don't even know how to introduce me.
To the School of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. What is your report?
Because that's how we roll. So first, I'd like to thank all the opening acts. So we have just a little presentation. Nothing like the video, MTV video that was shown earlier. But let me first, before that starts, let me thank STEM. Please stand up, STEM. Let's represent. So this presentation will give you an idea of what we've done in the past year. A special shout out to Ronnie Canales, who helped put this together. And of course, none of this would be possible without the faculty and staff in STEM. And because we're STEM and in a glimpse of our future overlords, everything here from this point on will be AI.
The School of STEM is proud to showcase what our faculty and staff have been hard at work on as we navigate the revolving job market and the needs of our students. We hope to foster the next generation of STEM students with new programs such as metalworking, a proficiency certificate that provides students with the knowledge and skills relevant for entry-level employment in the metal fabrication industry, an academic certificate in cybersecurity designed to equip students with skills that are in high demand in the industry to combat emerging threats, and a series of microcredit certificates in construction management intended to enhance employment opportunities for students in specific fields. Lastly, we will soon be introducing data science as a degree option. We've also developed new courses to enrich our programs. These include Introduction to Astronomy, which covers topics such as the sky, moon phases, eclipses, the solar system, light and waves, the sun, and galaxies. Introduction to Beekeeping Science provides an in-depth look into the scientific study of bees, exploring their species, life cycles, and essential roles in pollination and biodiversity. Python and R programming are used in web development, data science and analytics, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and game development. Lastly, data visualization teaches students how to use Power BI to drive dashboards, explore the value of visualization, apply design principles, visualize data tables, and create infographics. While developing new programs and courses is important, equally vital is finding ways to support students financially. To that end, we've worked to reduce course material costs. For example, chemistry students will have access to a free lab manual created by our faculty and staff. Students in our CSC 100 and Math 100 classes have saved approximately $200,000 in 2023 to 2024 because of our implementation of Follett Access in these courses. In line with our commitment to financially support our students, we're excited to highlight 2 recent scholarship opportunities. 25 cybersecurity students received over $12,000 from Microsoft's Last Mile Education Fund, and second-year students in the construction management program were awarded scholarships through the Construction Industry Advancement Program's Anselmi Scholarship. The School of STEM also supported local high school students Jade Castillo and Dean Sanel Silla from Jose Marti STEM Academy with their research project, providing mentorship from our faculty and staff. Their work includes developing an antimicrobial composite using zinc pyrithione and creating a door detector to help visually impaired individuals navigate doorways more safely. Continuing our commitment to student support, we've also launched new clubs such as the Cybersecurity and Computer Science Club and joined the American Chemical Honor Society and the Physics Student Society chapters. Our faculty have continued their professional development with publications in peer-reviewed journals. Congratulations to Professor Clive Lee and Nadia Headley for their outstanding contributions. Our professors have also received awards in recognition for their exceptional work, both inside and outside the classroom. We celebrate Dr. Clive Lee for being awarded the Dale Parnell Distinguished Faculty and 2024's Faculty Member of the Year, Faisal Al-Jamal for receiving the 2024 Philip Johnston Award for Excellence in Teaching, and Theodore Lai for being named the 27th Annual Foundation Gala honoree, as well as for earning the 2024 Middle States Regional Continued Excellence Award and the 2024 Phi Theta Kappa Continued Excellence Award. In terms of grant updates, Professors Faisal Al-Jamal and Yevuz Gunnar have begun their Year 1 work on their NSF grant for nurturing resilience in Hudson County, empowering the next generation of cybersecurity professionals with a focus on women. Professor Azhar Mahmood continues his work on his NSF grant, strengthening community college and workforce partnerships in construction management. Through funded projects like NSF's and the dedication of our professors and staff, we are continuously enhancing our programs to better serve and support our students. Lastly, in major STEM updates, Isabella Canales turned 1 last year. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to another fruitful year in 2025.
Thank you, everyone.
To the School of STEM, your report has been received. Thank you, everyone. Did you enjoy that? Awesome, awesome. So even if you're not in academic school, you can still participate in your school or area next year, but I think next year we're gonna have to make some modifications. This was great and I enjoyed it. Thank you very much to all of you who participated. So moving right along, we will recognize our new faculty and staff. Amala Ogburn will do that for us.
Thank you, Paula. That was so much fun. Good morning, everyone. So this morning, I have the privilege of recognizing our full-time and temporary full-time new hires. I'd like to first thank Dr. Roberson and team for planning College Service Day and bringing us all together today and making it so much fun. On behalf of everyone here, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our newly hired employees and to give a special shout out to our part-timers, work-study students, and interns for all that they do. We're excited to have all of our new hires join our institution, and we look forward to the contributions that you will make as a part of our dynamic team. If you are here in person, I ask that you please, and able to, I ask that you please stand when I call your name. If you are joining us online, please turn your camera on and raise your hand so we can see you. And if you're not here, we will see you next time. Some of these folks have been with us for quite a while, but this is our first college day since they were hired on. Brooke Duffy, Director of Library Instruction. Hi, Brooke. Cynthia DeWart, Academic Counselor for Hudson Scholars. Matthew Cobolts, who did the MTV video, interim director of ESL in English. Rebecca Schaefer, academic counselor for Hudson Scholars. Ju Win Liu, academic counselor for Hudson Scholars. Steffi Montenegro, instructor. Candy Ceballos, stand up girl. She's an HR team member, temporary full-time coordinator for human resources. Katie Ann Blacker, associate director of institutional effectiveness. And Abiel Yezriel, career and transfer specialist. We look forward to working together and supporting your growth and success. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Amala. So at this time, I'd like to recognize the AQ completers for effective online teaching practices, cohort C. The AQ participants completed 25 modules. These faculty members learned and implemented evidence-based teaching practices shown to promote student success. In this offering, our faculty are able to design an effective course, establish a productive learning environment, use active learning strategies, promote high-order thinking, access in ways that inform and promote higher levels of learning. These courses prepare educators in all of the core competencies defined in AQ's effective teaching practice framework and lead to a certificate in effective teaching practice framework awarded in collaboration with the American Council on Education. First, I'd like to extend congratulations to Yavuz Gunner, instructor in STEM. Yavuz Gunner. Come on up. Michelle Whitmore, adjunct faculty business. Marola Joachim, academic coach and mentor. And I'd also like to extend congratulations to John Lynn. He's not here. He's an adjunct faculty in humanities and social science. Congratulations. At this time, Richard Walker, Associate Director for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Training, will recognize the DEI completers.
They have time to come up. I have the certificates here. Good morning, everyone. So I'm here to present the DI completers from fall of 2024. When I call your name, please stand up. Jose Lowe. Where? Oh, okay. Carmen Pilardes. Paula Jonaville. Joselito Guzal. Sonia. Oh, I can poke up for a picture? Okay. Nadia James. There's Nadia. Stand up. Lisa Sikowitz. Ivy Altimbrano. Rimsha Ized. Nancy Saliba. Arm Steinman. Sarah Teichman. Priscilla Ochoa. And Everett Mapp. So if you're here, I have the certificates here, so if you're here, come get your certificate, please. Okay, you're Everett, right? Marina's not here. Paula, yeah. Okay, Joselito. Congratulations. Okay. Sonia? There you go. Congratulations. Nadia?
Lean in there, Rich, and smile. That's it.
Lisa? Ivy?
Yeah, stick around.
Oh, she's not here today? Okay, Carmen?
Lean together, Rich.
Grimshaw? Nancy? And Jose? Oh, come on. I'm just getting all this stuff here. Okay. Paula, where's Paula? Oh, okay, you have yours.
Everybody, can we do a quick?
Yeah. Everett, did you get yours?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you know what? I left yours at my office. I thought you were.
All right, we've had a packed morning. It's been a lot of fun. And I wanted to share with you, we have the Ironbound Community Corporation here to present to you this morning. And as you know, we have the symposium every year. And as I was researching and listening and looking to who I could invite to be in our symposium, I was listening to NPR, was it? NPR? And I heard that the Passaic River was being cleaned up. And anytime anyone says anything about the Passaic River, my ears perk up because I live near the river. So I thought it was great that the Passaic River was being cleaned, and it had to do with environmental justice, because the Passaic River runs through many, many towns here in North Jersey. So I heard it was the Ironbound Community Corporation, and they were in Newark. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's just a phone call. So I made a phone call, and here we are today. Mrs. Hazel Applewhite, Chief Executive Officer of the Ironbound Community Corporation, has been a cornerstone of the ICC for over 13 years. initially serving as the Chief Financial Officer before being appointed CEO in early 2022, with a deep understanding of the Ironbound Community Corporation's programming and operations. Coupled with her foresight and innovative thinking, Hazel has driven positive change and expanded the ICC's programs and services. She is passionate about fostering positive community change, eliminating racial barriers, and empowering community members to achieve their goals and full potential. Hazel believes that diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging should be integral to all community structures. She holds a BS in Business Management and an MBA. Currently, she is pursuing an Executive Master of Public Administration with an expected completion date in May 2025. Colleagues, I present to you Hazel Applewhite, CEO of the Ironbound.
Thank you. Do we have the click? Click? It's right here, and how do you use the click? Yeah. Great, thank you. Just getting set up here. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much, Hudson County Community College faculties, Dr. Jones, and also Ms. Paula Robinson. Thank you so much for inviting ICC to just be part of this space, right, and to speak more about not only what we do, how we do it, why we do it, right, and we're all doing this for the community. So I'm going to start off with just talking a little bit about myself, right? Because it's good in spaces like this to get to know, right, who's standing in front of you and also getting to know. So I'm familiar that I'm in front of faculty, right, a few students. And, you know, I want to take a moment just to really applaud you and thank you for what you do, right? So often we don't say thank you in spaces. And without you, right, with the commitment to, you know, education, right, within this space, this cannot be done. So take a moment to, you know, give yourself a round of applause, right, for showing up and being here, right, and just your commitment to just serving, right, and continuing to serve in this space. As we heard, my name is Hazel Applewhite. I've been with ICC for a little over 13 years, started off as the CFO. And definitely, I'll tell you a little bit about my story, is that I had folks in this room, right, who was really committed to me, right, who inspired me, who challenged me, who was, you know, I would say committed to my growth, right? It didn't necessarily at all the times come from within, you know, my home, right? It came from, you know, folks on the outside, right, who saw that potential in me, right, and really, really invested into it. So anytime that I can give back or I can say thank you, right, to folks who are in education, because it was teachers, right? I had teachers who walked up to me, you know, and would say kind words to me. I was born in Trinidad, and I, you know, came to this country, right, when I would say that immigrants weren't really accepted. I think I'm okay to say that, right? Where, you know, I was too dark, you know, my hair was too short, right? And that was like the focus of me, right? Versus looking at the potential. And I had teachers like you who really talked to me, right? And gave me the courage, right? And said, you can do it, right? And had those one-on-one personal conversations with me. And I'll tell you, that was so helpful throughout my journey. And so appreciated. So I'm always just showing gratitude in these spaces. I worked at ICC for a little over 13 years, as you know, served as CFO and then moved into the CEO role, very passionate about community change. So ICC seemed like the perfect marriage for me up until now, right, with the work that we do. At ICC, I will just click. That was the introduction. And next slide is going to be a little bit about ICC. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, we were founded in 1969. Our mission is to engage, empower individuals, families, and groups to realizing their aspirations together work to create a just and vibrant and sustainable communities. We follow the values of mutual respect, empathy, fairness, transparency, commitment to excellence, and accountability. We do programming around domestic violence, basically the holistic approach of family services, domestic violence, youth programming, early childhood, community development, environmental justice, in which Ms. Robinson spoke a little bit about, right? Initially, when ICC was found, we was found around parents who attended our preschool program, right? And then from there, those parents realized that there were environmental issues, right? And we're talking about 40 years ago, having environmental issues in the iron-bound, right? And having parents who were just alerted by that, right? Why are my kids not able to breathe, to breathe, right? Why is there a high rate of asthma, right? And just being in tune with that, and from that, right, became a force of advocacy and organizing, right, around understanding what the issues are and empowering our community and our community members. And we're going to talk a lot about that, and that is a little bit about ICC. I am going to click. And I can't see my click, so I am going to, oh, sorry, each slide. Okay, I am going to talk a little bit about empowering voices, and I can't see it, so I'm going to go with my notes, please. I'm going to talk about empowering voices, the importance of inclusivity in community decision-making, right? And I can go deep into that, and it's something that I am passionate about and feeling great about talking about when we talk about empowering our community. And what does that look like, right, from all aspects? And I'm going to talk about how we do that at ICC. It's important in a world where decisions are often made without input from those who are most affected. We must recognize the power of every single voice. Each of us bring a unique perspective to shape a new perspective shaped by our experiences, our culture, our dreams, and the richness that strengthens the fabric of our community. Imagine a future where our collective voices shape policies, our collective voices shape programs that affect our lives, a future where every resident feels valued, heard, empowered. This is not a vision, but it is a reality that we can create together. And what do I mean by this when I talk about the collective voices? So many often, and you know what else I'm also going to add to that is diversity within those voices, right? And also another item that I'm passionate about is those voices actually being in public spaces, right? And encouraging folks who are learning and our youths and folks that are in your spaces, right? That representation is important. In order to be part of the change, in order to see the change rather, right? We must be part of the change. And how does that happen? I'll set the tone by saying at ICC, we believe in bottom-up organizing, where you're actually listening to the community and not actually speaking at the community, but you're bringing the community to table, right? And setting up a space that they can actually be heard based upon their lived experience, right? So often there's a traditional sense of us, as leaders, right? Or as experts in fields saying, you know what? I know what's best, so I'm going to tell the community what's best. I caution you not to do that, right? I empower you, right, to actually have those one-on-one conversations with community and with folks that are living in those spaces to understand what their experience are, because that's going to help right? Aid and help design what next steps are, right? What policies should be, what policy changes should be, what conversations should look like based upon their experiences and not from necessarily our expertise. There are ways that we can use our expertise in those spaces as leaders, but the first action plan, right? When you put together your strategy, right? When you think about, changes that need to come, it has number one that has to be on that list is thinking about, let me really just take time and start talking to folks who are actually impacted by this to hear, how it impacts them. So how have ICC done this? There was, a long fight for just green space, right? Throughout the Ironbound, and a space that's now called Riverfront Park, right? And there were a lot of community plans, and those community plans were really guided and led by ICC, Ironbound Community Corporation. But it wasn't the past ED or the past CEO, right, that kind of sat in the office and said, well, okay, this is what I vision that green space should look like. There was a lot of community meetings, right? And also a lot of talking to stakeholders that's outside of the community to get them to understand this strategy of actually building community in that way, right? It was kind of transformative and also transformative in stakeholders' ways of thinking, whether it be elected officials, whether it be funders, right? Whether it be governmental agencies, right? Getting them into that space to actually saying, hey, you know what, let's have these group meetings, these community meetings, these CAGs, right? Throughout the community to understand what does the community actually want to see in this green space? Do they want to see more space for their kids, right? With a playground? Do they want to see a running space, right? Where, folks can jog, right? Do they want to see, boats, right? That you can actually, catch boats and go out, right? And get the scenic route, right? That was actually all coming from the community and not necessarily one sitting up in an office space making that decision, right? So that's what I mean about community voices, right? Collectiveness, right? And from that, over 10, 15 years of, a really aggressive fight, right? From the city to the state to the federal level, right? The Ironbound community has a beautiful green park, right? It's on the river, right? Where folks have access to it, and all of the planning that was done by the community, right, is now being, presented, right? That you actually, you see it. It has flourished to life. And the other important thing that was very important there too is building trust, right? So when you say you're going to do it, you actually do it. And when you cannot do it, you actually say that you can't do it, because community look at organizations such as Ironbound Community Corporation, such as CBOs, such as, elected officials, such as, stakeholders, both external and internal and external, right? It's important to build trust. So, and that also takes time. You just don't walk into a space and end up building trust overnight, right? So those communication and those, those constant communications, that relationship building, it's like a marriage, I say, you work on it over and over and over again. You have your good days and you have your bad days, but it gets really, really good at some point, right? And then it gets really, really bad, right? And you know what? You have to say that this is going to get messy before it gets good, right? And when it gets good, it's good. But getting everyone in a space knowing that, we're going to have to dig into this and it's going to get a bit messy and we are going to disagree. And there are things that we're going to agree with. And you come up with, common strategies, right? On how do you deal with disagreements, right? And I mean, agreements is all good for everyone, right? And that's kind of like, getting into the community, the strategy, right? Strategy on how, you can push this kind of inclusive voices, right, in decision making, right? And some of the strategies that you can use, right, to make sure that everyone feels valued at the table, right? All voices are heard, and no one is singled out, making it inviting, right? And inviting for folks to come into the conversation. When we talk about, and I've not been using the click, I do apologize because my eyes is extremely bad. So I have not been using the click, but I am going to just continue to talk through and, just hope that, one is following. And then at the end, I can answer any questions. When we talk about, the other thing that's very important in this, and I've been talking a lot about it, is the representation. It is not merely about seats at the table, but it's about ensuring that voices resonate in the conversation that shape our lives. When our community is represented, right, the government, public office, we can influence policy, right, that directly impact health and well-beings. We can advocate for equitable funding for schools, affordable housing, comprehensive health care, catering to a diverse population. Representation also allows us to challenge policies rather, right? Sometimes we think about doing things on our own. It's important to me, so I want to do it, right? But, you can only go so far alone, right? But you can really push through doors together. And when you get folks that are like-minded in thinking, or folks that you could even change their mind a tab, right? Because that's okay too, right? We all walk through the room sometimes with, our experiences, right? And looking at things from our lens, right? I look at things from the lens of a Black woman that was born in a Caribbean country and migrated to the USA. That's going to be totally different than the way that someone else is going to look at this experience, right? And that's okay. Talking about that and coming together and just talking about different experiences, I can teach you, you can teach me. I strongly believe we're never too old to learn, especially when it comes to each other experiences. I also believe in the pathway to leadership. And, as simple as, looking at community and embracing the strategy of, bottom up and listening in from the bottom up, do you know how much you're creating leaders by doing that? You have folks that lived in challenges, I would say, right? Households that are challenged, never really had someone to believe in them, right? And here you go, you're sitting them at the table, right? And there's one other thing I'll tell you that we love to do, and I'm totally for it, giving honorariums, stipends to folks that give us their lived talk about things, right? It's not only about, yes, we feed, but also saying, here, this is for you because you've had to leave your mother at home, your child at home, right? You probably had to pay for childcare. You're working for minimum wage, right? And here you are spending 2-3 hours with me, right? Telling me about your experience within the community. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an honorarium. Or I'm going to give you a stipend, however you want to shape it in your fiscal books, right? But this is just a little token to show that I value your lens that you're explaining this from. And this is a token to show that appreciation, right? And that's something that goes a far way. So, I always encourage that, but I'm going to get back to the building the leaders from, having these meetings, right? You have, folks that may enter into these spaces that really don't see their potential, they're not really heard, but all of a sudden now, right, you're really invested into hearing them, right? And you're really invested into, training them, right? On, let's say it's advocacy, right? Or organizing, or the model of organizing, right? You're hearing them, right? And you're pouring into them. You've just sparked up something in them that they didn't know that they had, because you took the time out to have those conversations with them and to bring them to the table, right? And while you're bringing them to the table, you're also there, and you're speaking to them, you're showing value, you're showing that you value their opinions, right? So now you spark something in them that says, you know what, I can actually do this. You understand? I can actually think of something that's beyond what I'm currently doing in the community, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You understand? Because here is someone who looks like me, right? Who wants to hear me, right? And that's one pathway of building leadership within your community. So sometimes when you're doing that, not actually sometimes, when you're doing that, if that's done correctly, you can take a step back and say, you know what? I actually have community members that are going to show up, right? And they're going to speak out loud for some of the changes that we want to hear or want to see, right? Because you've now empowered the community, right? For community change based upon their experience, and not necessarily an organization showing up in the space saying, these are the changes that should happen. They're hearing from community. So that's also something that, I am passionate about, right? And within the organization I work, we see that as a model, right? That to build from within our community. A lot of our staff are folks that actually live in our community, have many years and are stables in our community, and have worked with ICC, some for many, many years, and others, in the beginning of their journey, right? But at the end of the day, we're strongly encouraging them, and also, building them up as leaders within in the space. We talked about, also, I touched a little bit on, leaders, and also the decision making, right? We talked about honorariums, right? Some of the things that, as we think about even having some of these, when you have these meetings, is thinking about, what is needed by those who are showing up. Or if I'm trying to have a conversation with someone, right? What exactly is may be their immediate need at that time? And maybe childcare. They may just simply, in order to show up, they may just simply I need someone to just, a safe space for my child in order to show up for you, right? Now, some of that may not be an issue for some of us, but for some of us, that's a real issue, right? I don't have a space for my child, but I do want to show up to your space. One option is, encouraging, childcare service, right? At any gatherings that you have. So therefore, it's a form of showing inclusiveness, and it's it's a form of responding to what the actual needs of, this individual that's showing up may be. I think it's also important, as we think about, and as as faculty, right? You have folks that are in your classes, and they're also trying to decide what their pathway is, right? Where exactly am I going to go, right? What does my future look like, right? And I always say, when you have access to have conversations, right? These are conversations that should be had, right? Being part of change, investing into whatever community you're in, right? Whether it be, going to city council meetings, whether it be the environmental issues that are so, listen, it's so present, right? No matter, what we've been hearing, climate change is real, right? Clean air is real, clean water is real, right? We've been seeing, the weather is, we don't know, at times where exactly we are with the weather, right? These are all spaces that, you can talk to your staff to be involved in, right? To understanding whether it's, joining CBOs or, listening on different webinars and getting familiar with some of these issues, right? And then deciding, kind of like, where do I want to share my service? Where do I want to be of service, right? And finding something that you're passionate about, or they're passionate about, rather, right? That they'll get involved in. And these are conversations that I encourage you to have with your students, or with your friends, right? Or with your families, right? Because again, the only way that we can truly see change in the space that we're in is by being part of that change. Looking ahead, I think with what I've said, and also, continuing to have conversations in spaces about things that you find important, right? Because I may find, I find immigration and environmental justice very important to me, right? Where you may have folks that have other issues that they find important to them. I think just continuing those conversations, right, is important, because again, the voices are not just, us in the room. It's just not our student. It's the collective voices, right? The collective voices that, build futures, right? And it also creates a chorus of advocating for justice, equity, sustainability, right? And it's definitely, with our voices and with the changes, it can definitely bring a legacy that we can create for generations to come. I will be open now for any questions, to be interactive, any questions that ones may have. I do apologize for not being able to use the slides. My eyes are bad. But any questions that the audience may have, I'm totally open to answering any questions and having this be interactive. Hello. Mike.
Okay. Hi. Okay. Again, Zapwhite, thank you for coming. Pleasure to hear you. My name is Michael Felice. I'm president of our faculty association, so I take special interest in some of the things you mentioned. I'd just like to get your feedback on something. I was thinking a lot as you were speaking. You've been successful in the struggles that you've been working on. I think a very important aspect of mobilizing people, getting people to have a commitment in the long run, also has to do with getting results. And obviously, you have experience in that. It's very hard, I think, to get people to commit themselves to really hard work, struggles, disappointments, if in fact we don't look to things with our partners where we have some wins together to show for that. So I would just like to get some feedback on you about that, and maybe as you strategize and think about working with partners and being able to keep team members motivated, how does all that kind of play out for you? Thank you.
Thank you. Did you say your name was, give me your name again?
Michael.
Michael. Great question, Michael. And I share the same sentiment, right? It is a struggle because some fights, they're won, right? And some fights are not. One important thing I'm going to say, right? And this is kind of like the mindset that I have, right? It didn't happen unless you did it, right? And the blueprint is set once you've done it. So there's some fights that you will not win. And sometimes you go into those fights. There are decisions that we make at the table knowing when we look at, what is I like to I wouldn't call it return on investments, but what's the probability of us, being able to actually win this? And sometimes it's really low, right? And we're engaging and saying, you know what, we're still going to do this, right? Because it is the right thing to do, and it's what our community wants, right? And it actually makes sense to our community. I'll tell you one thing is gentrification, right? Gentrification is affordable housing, right? All those are issues that our communities are faced with on a day-to-day, right? Homelessness is at its highest, right? And trying to figure out that issue listen, there's not a formula that I've seen. There's working, right? Like, the mayor of Newark has done really have done really great policies around that and programs around that, right? So when we, go to whether it's city council or, zoning and say, no, we don't want this project in our neighborhood because it changed the fabric of our neighborhood, right? And we strongly think it's going to displace residents. You may not be able to view that now, but the long term is that this is going to spike our rents up, right? And community members are not going to be able to afford because we're in a low income immigrant community, right? We're going in knowing that sometimes that fight is not going to be won, right? Because you have really big developers, right? That are out there and they want this to be built. But it is, it is setting a precedence of us challenging these areas. And it's good to be truthful with community and truthful with the folks that are at the table, right? That we're not 100% sure that we're going to win this fight. We're going to do a strong as hell strategy, right? Or a strong as hell campaign around this, right? But here's the probability of us winning it, right? And everyone at the table understanding that. And it does get, it can beat you up. It does, right? And then that's where the self-care comes in, right? And also adding that to your strategy, right? What does self-care look like for your community? What does those circle backs, right? Those post meetings look like, right? Those one-on-one connections look like, right? To, help build folks back up. But some fights, you just don't win it. And sometimes you go into it knowing that it's not going to be won, right? But then you can talk about the ones that you did win, right? And that also empowers folks to say, okay, on these long lists, right? Here's our list of fights that we did win, and here's the long-term impact of it, right? Like this model is actually being used, in another state or throughout the country, right? That gives gratification, right? That I was involved with this as an individual and the same model is being used someplace else. I hope that answers your question.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can I answer any more questions for the audience? I'm here and I'm free of charge. Well, I would just like to say again, thank you for Mr. Jones and Ms. Paula Robertson for having me. Thank you for Hudson County Community College, just for, just all the great work that you do. I'm just encouraging you to press on, folks. And, sometimes this work is hard, right? But we're definitely committed to it. Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mrs. Applewhite. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming. We learned from Mrs. Applewhite about building trust, challenging policies, valuing the lives of the people that speak in your community, to talk with your community and respect what they bring to the table, to listen to them, to empower the community, to build from within the community, build leaders within the community, and responding to the needs of the community. And for that, Ms. Applewhite, thank you. Thank you. So we have about 5 minutes, and I just want to share a couple of things with you. the Princeton program for community college engagement is part of what the CTL is partnering with this year. Coming up in a couple of weeks, a date has not been scheduled yet. At the All College Council, a representative from Princeton University will be present to engage faculty and staff into bringing your students, your classes, either down to Princeton or virtually to use their resources so you can have a richer classroom teaching and learning experience. There's many aspects to that. I didn't know we were going to have 5 minutes left over. I would have been ready for you. But that's coming up at the All College Council. Did you want to speak to that, Chris?
Wheels are in motion.
Okay.
That's my synopsis.
So that's very exciting. I also want to share with you that the CTLI is engaged in with ATD, and we have a team. Everyone who is on the ATD Building Capacity Action Plan team, I'm just going to ask you to stand up really quickly and be recognized. My co-lead is Sharon and Dr. Kay Thurman, Sharon Daughtry, RM Steinmetz, Sonia, Bob. There's 9 of us. And we will be writing a plan for the CTL. Actually, will really be like more or less the CTLI 2.0. So in our discussions, we're talking about faculty fellows. We're hoping for 5. We would like to get a grant, if it's not operationalized, to pay faculty fellows to be compensated that way through a grant to address teaching and student learning outcomes, teaching initiatives in a new way, and so that your planning time will be covered. And we can bring a whole lot of new innovation into teaching across the institution. There's a lot on the list. Cade and Sharon, do you want to share what we're talking about with them? These are my co-leads, so I'm not doing this by myself. It's 9 of us. Come on, Cade. Okay, so it's a team effort. So, if I can't think, I guess then they can't think either. But no, they're very helpful. The team is very dedicated, very serious. We meet once a month with ATD. We have a coach. If there's something that you're interested in that will add value to your teaching and student learning, please share it with Cade, myself, send an email. We have John Argola. He's sharing data with us so we can make informed decisions. We have Bob Kahn, and it's always, like Hazel said, it's great to have diverse voices on your team because everybody has something different and new to share. And I say, I never even thought about that, but thank you for that. So one of the most important things that I learned from listening to Bob last week is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because the baby's good. We can still use that idea here. And so that's another element that I learned through listening to the team that we are on. So without further ado, lunch is hot, lunch is ready. And I think maybe next year we will do the academic roll call. Oh, these people want coffee. Somebody signaling me we want coffee. All right, we got another minute. Did you have fun today? Sure. Well, Miss Applewhite, would you have your team come up, please? Will your team come up so we can have a photo? Okay. While they are walking up, please listen for your number. Two, 172. 22172. Who's at extension 4355? M, last name Peel, P-I-E-L? Going once? Twice? So sorry. Next number.
I'd like to move this ball.
Sure.
Yeah, let's move it over a little bit. That's great.
022. Okay, I know. Yeah, I am. I will in a second. 022190. 022190. Rosie? Rosie, come get your coffee. Rosie Perez of EOF.
It was rigged. It was rigged. It was rigged.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a little bit. That's great. Dr. Reaver, stay behind there. Move it just a little bit. You know? Got it. And then if you and Dr. Reaver switch places, then we're in business. Good job, everybody.
Oh, yeah.